And he thought the shed was all for dads to retreat into and for garden tools to be stored in and that rubbish you've not got quite space for in the loft to be put into. Think again. The Shed music venue between now and 5 on BBC Radio Leeds. But firstly, you're a shed man, Harry. Do you have a shed?
I've got a shed, but not really. It's just a functional place, a place I'll store things.
Yes, tell me the story of your shed, and then I'll explain why sheds are on the agenda in just a moment's time. Do you actually use it for boring things like putting garden equipment in, or is it something a little more elaborate? Perhaps it's a music venue. 333 with the word Leeds at the start.
Night and shining on the stage, just 3 words made my day. Come a little closer, say you love me. I've been waiting all this time to hear you whisper that one line. Need to know that you are thinking of me.
That's the artist Christina Miles with her song 3 Little Words. She's going to be performing in Leeds on the 1st of November. But no, it's not the arena, it's not the academy, it's not any of our theatres. No, she'll be performing in a shed in Chapel Allerton, all part of the innovative idea from a dad who's 58 years old called Alan Gibson. He's a civil engineer who's decided to set up music concerts in his home, and many musicians are arriving from here in the US. BBC Radio Leeds reporter Richard Edwards has been to see him.
So yes, forget the X Factor, this is where real music is. We're standing on the stage now, listen to that, of Sheds in suburban West Yorkshire. It's in Chapel Allerton, it's in Leeds, and gigs really do happen here. The microphones are right next to me now, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. I can feel myself looking out at the crowd, and I feel a little bit nervous, but the man who's in charge of all this is Alan Gibson. There's no need to feel nervous, is there, Alan? Gigs are a regular thing here, and you've had some stellar performances on the stage, haven't you?
Yeah, we have, and it's meant to be more an intimate thing where, the local community, friends, neighbours, workmates come in here, listen to some good quality music and get to know each other, really.
So gigs in your shed, though, let's rewind a little bit, because, at your time of life, you could be looking at keeping your crown green bowls tidy in your shed, but you're not. You're still going down the rock and roll lifestyle. Why is that happening?
I've always been involved in music a little bit from an organisation viewpoint as a hobby, really, throughout the years. And a friend of mine from America contacted me last year and said, I'm coming over for a holiday. She's a singer-songwriter. Could you put a few gigs together for me? And she had mentioned this idea of house concerts, which was a new idea to me, and I thought, that sounds interesting. I thought, that's an old shed we have in the big garden there, which holds my table tennis table, fold-down snooker table, bar football, treadmill, and bits and pieces for the house. And I thought, why not clear those out for a day, put a little stage at the front and put a few chairs down and get the neighbours in to listen to some music, and that's what I did.
And people want to do this. They can come along, can't they? There's a gig on November the 1st, tickets are available, so you can genuinely come and see a gig in a shed in the middle of Leeds.
That's right, just go on Google Chapel A house concerts and you'll find how to get along here. Everybody's welcome, and yes, just come along 1st November. Christina Miles, a brilliant artist. Paul Weller once said about her, absolutely stunning, so she's really worth hearing, a real worthwhile artist.
And is this taking music right back then to the heart of the community, as it always used to be, people playing gigs in each other's homes, in outbuildings, out on the street, and people would gather around and sharing the experience?
Yeah, well, I think, most people, when they think of music, they think of the big stars who come to, the First Direct Arena and pay a lot of money to go and attend, but it's the very opposite. We just want this to be very down to earth. People can come in here, we just ask for a donation at the door. The donation goes to the artist, it's not profit making, and it's just meant to be intimate community, and the music is really good. We make sure we get in really good artists, and we've got fantastic feedback from the punters and the artists for the gigs we've done so far.
Now, give us an idea. You've got Rolling Stones t-shirts, and if you could choose one of your own musical legends to play in your shed, who would you go for?
Oh gosh, well, I'd have to go for somebody like Bob Dylan. He's been one of my inspirations. Yeah.
Bob Dylan's on stage in your shed. Well,
amazing.
I reckon he would probably be up to that, Andrew. Going back to his roots, I'm looking out. So I'm looking out across the venue now. There's no sea of faces, but there are a sea of chairs. I think that's probably the best sort of audience for my singing.
Great stuff, thank you, Richard. Richard Edwards, tell me about your shed then. That was brilliant. My shed has a hot tub in it. That's Daz in Sutton. And James on Twitter says, we've got a new shed stroke Dutch barn and we love it. It's used for storage and as an office, study, studio and arts. Thank you, James. Very pop. West Yorkshire for a Monday afternoon. Really good to have you company. Yes, your shed stories then between now and 6 o'clock. After, I like the sound of that. Proper music venue. Christina Miles playing a garden shed in Chapel Allerton. Tell me about your shed. Mine feels very boring actually. A barbecue and an old paddling pool in there. A1333 Leeds. Between now and 6, I'm after our shed stories. After we've been in Chapel Allerton with the guy who has made his into a music venue. He's got Christina Miles playing in November, not the Leeds Arena, not the Academy, playing a garden shed in Chapel Allerton.
She's quite welcome to come to my shed, but there's not much room in it. I don't have a jacuzzi or a bar, just lots of spiders and a lawnmower, which I had out yesterday.
I'm feeling terribly dull as well because we've got garden tools, the barbecue and a deflated paddling pool.
Standard, isn't it, really?
I like the idea. Gary Verity apparently has got a new all-purpose show which has got a bar in it.
Well,
Something going on.
quite fancy checking it out just to see if I could have one myself.
Excellent. Thank you, James. Full update from him after 5:30. So we've got Daz with a spa in his shed, and we've got James with the new shed stroke Dutch barn, storage and an office stroke study stroke studio stroke art space. That's great. Thank you, James. 81333 Leeds at the start of the text. Find me on Twitter. Love to hear. Me and my shed, ... 5:05.
West Yorkshire weather.
BBC Radio Leeds. Actually, Paul Hudson is a shed sort of man. We'll find out. He'll be here at 5:20. Anyway, here's the summary. We don't want to talk about the weather. I forgot to ask Paul Hudson about whether he has a shed or not. We're talking sheds because we had a report just before 5 about the gentleman in Chapel Allerton in Leeds who's made it into a music venue. He's got the excellent singer Christina Miles playing in November. Not the Leeds Arena, not the Academy. No, a garden shed in Chapel Allerton. Tell me about your garden shed. What's there? What happens there? Got Daz with a hot tub in his. Very nice. 81333 Leeds at the start of the text. Find me on Twitter. I will retweet when I can. Well done, Paul Hudson.